in Victoria, and how old am I now? I'm 41 now, and I am from London. I went to Tambre when I was 39, having 2 failed rounds at a clinic in London, and I was very despondent on the tube on the way home after having a bit of an awkward, a bit of a rubbish chat, and I thought, no, I'm not going to accept this. I'm going to get on my computer and I'm going to find somewhere else, and I'm going to go and get a second opinion, and that is what led me to Spain. Yes, I went home that day after my chat with the other clinic, and I got straight on my computer, Googled the best IVF clinic in the world. An American one did come up, but I couldn't get to America, and I was like, it's a little bit far. And then it said the best, and then I Googled the best European clinics for IVF, and Spain came up, Tambre came up, and I honestly think I emailed that afternoon, and I said, okay, when can I talk to you guys? When can I discuss my tech case? How soon can we get the ball rolling? So prior to going, I did wonder actually about how the scans would work, because obviously you have to go for fairly regular scans, and I was like, I don't know how that's going to work in Madrid. But then when I spoke to the patient liaison person, they explained everything, and then when we went for our consultation, it was actually great because they arranged for a car to pick us up from the airport. So I wasn't concerned about getting to the clinic or anything, because that was super stress-free. There was a driver there for us, door to door. The clinic, I think, even covered the cost of it, which was a bonus. And then they explained that we could have scans in London. So I was like, okay, great. First impression was, it was in a really nice building, and I'd read online about lots of people saying that they really liked the privacy aspect of it, which, reading online, I was like, oh yeah, they keep going on about this, but actually once I was there and I saw they have these little cubicles where you wait, you're not in a big waiting room with lots of other people, which, having done both, the privacy version is definitely better, because it's just, there's a lot of things that are going through your head at that time, and you don't really want other people, listening, overhearing their conversations and what's going on in their life, and you just have your little kind of cubicle, and everything's just between you and your partner, and then the staff come there, and it was really lovely and professional. And then also, additionally, when it came to the egg retrieval, it was really nice because you were in your own room, whereas the clinic in London, it was like a bit of a shared space in the recovery period, and I could hear oh, amazing, you got X amount of eggs, in the person a couple of beds down, and I think just the privacy aspect is just way better when you're going through this kind of thing, because I don't want to hear how many eggs this person's got and what that person's saying, and it was really lovely to just have your own room and your own space. I thought Tambre was great for in the communications department. There was always someone that I could chat to, and I was slightly worried because my Spanish is pretty minimal, but actually all the doctors there spoke impeccable English, and the staff, they would call me sometimes if I had a query about something. It was always really quickly, so I wasn't kind of fretting for too long about anything. And yet I have to say, there wasn't anything where I was kind of struggling to understand anything, or I thought that it was great, and all my questions got answered. and yeah, yeah, it was great. Okay, so what really impressed me about Tambre was they were really thorough with lots of testing and lots of like patient history and what I'd been through before. Obviously, I'd had 2 failed rounds in London, so we went through that extensively. It's like, okay, what drugs did they give you? What have you done before? How could we improve this? You know, so and then the doctor came up with a plan based on that, and you know, kind of think like, okay, let's, you know, new plan, obviously that didn't work, let's try this other one. And that had never been discussed in the previous clinic that I went to. What we ended up doing, that hadn't even been like discussed as an option for us. So that was really interesting and it worked. Yeah, so that was great. And I felt like the doctor was super knowledgeable. And yeah, like it was very in-depth, and I just felt like they were really professional, and I felt really confident in their abilities. Honestly, like my daughter was born 9 months, like 1 week ago, and I just looked at her with like complete, it's almost like disbelief, and just the whole thing just felt like a dream come true, because I think when you've like had the struggles and you've had like people, you know, say, this maybe it's not going to happen, or this is going to be really difficult, and then you start to, you know, kind of beat yourself up and you think like, well, maybe it won't happen, and then it does. And yeah, dream come true, what can I say? Any advice? What do you think, Evie? I mean, we loved going to Spain. We kind of treated it as like a little trip for us as well. You know, like after the clinic, we went and stayed in Spain for a few days. And it was actually a really lovely time. I mean, obviously it was a little bit, you know, there's the unknown of, you know, the result of everything. But yeah, we just saw it as, okay, this is another adventure, and yeah, and it worked out great, and we were just so happy with, you know, the hospital and the doctors, and we couldn't have asked for more from them, really. We had a great time, didn't we?